Manchester City, of course, in their sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. George Boateng as Borough attack the south stand end in the first half as we look at it from left to right in the west stand at the Riverside Stadium. Tunjai infield to George Boateng again. A little touch for Fabio Rockenbach. Is today the last we'll see of him in the Borough midfield. Sweeps it out to Emmanuel Pogatetz, then Arca. Decent football being played, but Alves can't control it, and Richard Dunn is across there, the City captain, to clear it away.
That was much better from Alves, Paul. The ball came in deep from Julio Arca, and Richard Dunn was favourite to get on the end of that, but Alves shot across him, got a touch on the ball, then harried him as the defender looked to clear, and that's why he couldn't get any distance on the clearance, and we got the throw-in.
City with Chorluka, and there's Benjani goes down to the ground, and free kick is given to City. Julio Arca doing the fouling on the halfway line.
I think we'll be looking for a lot more in the terms of work rate next season from Alves, now that he's had a good look at the Premiership. Scoring goals, great. You can see he's a goal scorer, but he can add more to his game by that work rate, doing a little bit of defensive stuff for his side, you know, in the final third when they've got the ball defensively.
BBC T is the only place for Borough commentary, and Manchester City have the ball. Left-hand side, ball forward from Garrido up towards Benjani, but there's Chris Riggott to head clear, and then Chris Riggott again, this time with the right foot gets it away. Tunjai can't control it. Richard Dunn sends it forward up towards Darius Vassell. Been around a lot of years now, Vassell, with Aston Villa and Manchester City, of course, and he scored 6 goals this season. Petrov finds Michael Ball as Manchester City are just content to play it around, in and around that centre circle inside their own half. Gelson Fernandez back to Ball again, and here's Garrido once more. Petrov with a left-footed ball forward. Looks like a good one as well, shot from Benjani from the knockdown from Vassell, and it went harmlessly wide of Schwartz's right-hand post.
Well, I think Emmanuel Pogatetz played everybody on there. When David Wheater was looking for the offside, his hand came up, and there was a misunderstanding with that defensive line there at the back for us. Emmanuel Pogatetz went with Darius Vassell. I think David Wheater, Chris Riggott and Luke Young had already stepped, thinking that the player was going to run into an offside position. The ball eventually went to Benjani. Had he taken a touch ball and went closer towards goal, he'd have had a real chance of scoring.
There's Garrido heading it forward up towards Benjani, beaten in the air by David Wheater, who's presented with countless Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year trophies and awards in the build-up to kick-off. The official Borough Supporters Club Young Player of the Year, Stuart Downing the Player of the Year. They were at the do here at the Riverside in midweek. BBC T's and goalless here. Borough against Manchester City, 3 minutes gone. Sun Ji Hai hits it on the volley back to his goalkeeper Andreas Isaacson, and now it's out for Richard Dunn again. Republic of Ireland international. Dunn with a right-footed long ball looking for Benjani. It's over his head and through to Mark Schwarzer. Some early thoughts from pitch side. Here's Mark.
The early thoughts from pitch side are that the Manchester City fans have just come to sing at Sven. They've been singing to the tune of Pink Floyd's Off the Wall. They've been singing Hey Taksin, leave our Sven alone. Foul given against Tunjai there for nothing. And Sven-Göran Eriksson, repeated chance. He's been up twice to applaud them, and he's picked an interesting side, hasn't he? We've got Michael Ball as a centre-back. He's never played there to my knowledge, so that's a bit of a sack-me sort of lineup, isn't it? Interesting.
Well, the Manchester City fans marched on Eastlands yesterday and presented a petition with 14,000 odd names on it to save Sven, which isn't the easiest thing to say at all. Here's Tunjai, brings it under control left-hand side. He's a popular man. Rockenbach, square ball for George Boateng. Boateng tries to get it out to Luke Young, but it's intercepted by Garrido along this left-hand side. Midway inside the Borough half, goalless at the Riverside. Benjani, goalless everywhere else so far in the Premier League this afternoon. Crucial afternoon. Benjani's gone down as if he's been shot or something there.
Well, that was quite funny, actually, because Fabio Rockenbach went in very strongly. Benjani's first touch was loose and allowed Fabio the chance to make a real strong challenge. And actually, Fabio did follow through and didn't need to, and he sort of caught Benjani, but there was a delayed reaction as if he had been shot there. Benjani, he's still on the floor now. I don't know if it wanted all that. You would ask the question, though, why is Fabio going in like that?
Yeah.
Because it's only going to get yourself into bother.
I mean, If Benjani was any lighter, he would have put him into the crowd, wouldn't he? He didn't half-welly him.
I don't think he needs to make the challenge like that. That's first and foremost. I don't think he caught him properly, because if he had caught him properly, Paul, he would have been in the crowd. He really would have done. So I think Benjani's making a little bit of it, but you just say to Fabio, why have you done that?
Well, with Fabio, you say why so many times, don't you, throughout the course of a season? You really do.
Throughout the course of a game. Hey, and you can also say, hey, that was magnificent. In the same breath, that's Fabio for you, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
If we talk about our season being up and down, try 90 minutes of Fabio.
Yeah. Try being him. Must be scary inside his head. It's still 0-0 here. And Benjani's continuing to receive some treatment. There's still 0-0 everywhere else as well, by the way. 6 minutes gone. Sven was up on his feet there just a short while ago, expressing his concern at Benjani's plight. It's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City when things do get underway again. So 0-0, 0-0 everywhere else as well. So as things stand, Birmingham down and Reading down, and Manchester United the champions. There's a long way to go yet. Throw-in is taken as Benjani gets off the field, and the ball has gone out of play again, and Garrido will take it from midway inside the Borough half. He takes it back to Michael Ball. Ball across the back to his central defensive partner Richard Dunn, and it goes to Sun Ji Hai. Bit of a hospital ball that Gelson Fernandez can't quite get a hold of, and Tunjai fouled there, and the free kick is given. Phil Dowd's the referee. Chorluka it was on Tunjai, just in that midfield area. Phil Dowd from Stoke on Trent. And Borough have a free kick towards the left-hand side. That man, Fabio Rockenbach, is on it again. He's just having a little stare up towards the penalty area to see what's on. Floats his free kick in towards the head of Alves. Might drop to George Boateng. It's a corner because it took a deflection. Diving deflection from Richard Dunn doing the defending. He
did really well there, Richard Dunn. It was a good knock-in, wasn't it? Only half cleared. I think it came back off somebody, off Richard Dunn actually, the headed clearance initially there. But Richard Dunn made amends for that, just shooting across there to block the attempt from George Boateng. He was only about 8 or 9 yards out there, George. It set up perfectly for him to hit it as well, so their defender did well to get something on that and direct it out for a corner. We're still waiting for the ball here.
First corner. I don't think the Manchester City fans want to give the ball back. Fabio Rockenbach's waiting for it. It's over on the far side. Sun Ji Hai doing the retrieval work. It's the first corner of the match with 8 minutes gone and 0-0 the score. Rockenbach in front of those 3,000 odd Manchester City fans to take this corner. It's a weird corner. Alves misses his kick completely. And Arca! Oh, I thought Arca had curled that one in. It just sat up nicely for him, rolled along the ground after a comedy of errors, really, and Arca nearly opened the scoring.
You know what, Paul? I'm going to have to tell you, right, that corner,
intentional.
That corner is meant. And I'll tell you why I know it is, because I know Steve Agnew does that with the reserves. That was actually meant, and that's a brilliant corner kick, because it would throw everybody if you didn't know that, and I happen to know that it was. And the attempt in the end from Arca was a peach, wasn't it? Just wide of the mark. But I know what you're saying, because it looked shambolic, but that was all, believe it or not, meant, and that was really quite well worked.
It was a bit like, what do you call him, James Beattie and Sheffield United when
yeah, that's the one
in the FA Cup.
That collision, and everyone's like kicking off with each other because it's all gone wrong, but that was meant.
Alves claims a handball against him, not given. Rockenbach nutmegs Stephen Ireland and then feeds Stuart Downing, who's on this right-hand side for the time being. 0-0. Downing's left-footed ball, it's a teaser, Tunjai's there, it's not cleared yet, it is now. Michael Ball hooks clear.
Hey, great ball in. Right-hand side, Stewie Downing, who else? Player of the season, rightly so. On his left foot, great ball in. If Tunjai could have got the slightest hint of a touch with that quiff of his, it would have been in the back of the net.
George Boateng again, right-hand side. Borough on the attack here, having a good spell, and Boateng's won them another corner. Tackled by Garrido down there. And the ball rolls out just near the BBC T's advertising hoarding in front of those Manchester City fans. And it'll be another corner. This is the 121st meeting between these sides in the league. Downing's corner, left-footed. Too much on it. Chris Riggott tries to keep it in but fails. It's out for a goal kick. Borough 146 and Manchester City 47 in that time. 27 draws. West Ham 1, Aston Villa 0. First goal this afternoon in the Premier League for Norberto Solano. Let's go down to pitch side and Mark.
Going to see a change. Nery Castillo, Mexican international. He will be coming on very shortly. I imagine that's for Benjani. I think we might have been a bit harsh on him, you know. He did get a knee in the pectoral muscle from Fabio Rockenbach. It was, as you rightly said, a ridiculous challenge. But that corner a couple of minutes ago, not the one from Downing just now, the one before that from Rockenbach, the Borough bench really enjoyed it, and Gary's right, they did mean it, and there were big smiles down here and just rueful shakes of the head that it didn't quite come off. But Castillo will be coming on very, very shortly for Man City.
This is BBC Tees and Pogatet's on the ball inside the Borough's half of the field. David Wheater brings the ball forward, but his attempted pass is cut out. And now Manchester City again, 0-0 at the Riverside. Benjani heads edge of the box. Doesn't look interested at all, Benjani, does he, after that little kick from Fabio Rockenbach? And Stuart Downing's desperately trying to keep the ball in far side. Doesn't manage it. City throw it.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to keep the tempo high. As I said, decent atmosphere at the Riverside. Man City fans making a lot of noise, you know, and making and adding to the atmosphere here. But we've had a decent spell there, Paul. I think their sub's going to happen very, very quickly. And I think Stewie's right to get a hold of the ball, get the ball back in play quickly, because that tempo suits us.
Sun Ji-hai takes the throw in, gets it back from Vassell. Richard Dunn turns and goes back to his keeper, who's standing just outside of the 18-yard box. Pitch looks in excellent condition, as Mark was describing in the build-up to kick-off down there. And Michael Ball, left-footed and forward into the possession of Chris Rigger. Little tap back from Rockenbach to Luke Young. Now Boateng to Rockenbach again. Almost played the killer ball through for Afonso Alves there, and Stephen Ireland can't keep it in now. Borough throwing.
I'm laughing, Paul, because that attempt from Fabio Rockenbach, had it come off, was pass of the season, wasn't it? He could have delivered a different style of ball there. He could have taken a touch, but instead he's went for outside of his right foot.
And there's the change, Mark.
It is, and it's the one we expected. Nery Castillo on, Benjani, Mawadawari off, and straight down the tunnel, the Zimbabwean.
It's Chris Riggett on the ball now, and back for Mark Schwartz, who's seen very little of the ball in the opening 12.5 minutes, because all the play has been at the other end, which is rather pleasing to see. On this last day of the Premier League season, West Ham 1, Aston Villa 0 at Upton Park. Norberto Solano, the only goal we have so far to tell you about. The ball is with Isaacson in the Manchester City goal.
I'm just wondering why Ilano's not playing for them, Paul. I'm delighted he's not, actually, because start of this season, first half of the season, he was brilliant. He's got a couple of goals against us in the corresponding fixture down there. I think one of them was a fantastic shot outside the box. One a really good player, but him not starting today, he's got 9 for the season. That's useful.
Throw into City on the halfway line. Stephen Ireland has it back for Richard Dunn. They don't seem in any rush at all, Manchester City, to get forward. Just happy playing the ball about inside their own half, or they were, until Dunn just planted it into touch.
But you know, Paul, that's Sven's kind of side. He did that with England and looked to keep the ball and pass it around deep, and then look for killer balls quite direct for the pace of Michael Owen when he was playing for England. Manchester City early on this season, they played exactly the same way as this, quite content to keep possession of the ball until the opportunity arose to deliver forward long quickly and cause you problems, and they did that early on the season at their place.
Here's David Wheater across the back for Chris Riggett. 0-0 at the Riverside. BBC Tees. Riggett's long ball forward. Here's Tunjai. Tunjai was took back, and that's a penalty. And it could be a sending off as well, because Richard Dunn took Tunjai back. He was clean through, and Richard Dunn has been shown a straight red card. The Manchester City captain's season ends early. He is sent off. Borough have a penalty.
You know the thing about it as well, Paul, he doesn't need to make the challenge, because the ball from Chris Riggett is brilliant, right over the top of Richard Dunn, who's fallen asleep. Tunjai's first touch has actually not been a good one. The ball's got away from him. I'm not so sure he would have gone on the end of it, because Isaacson was looking to do some defensive work for Man City, the goalkeeper, and then Richard Dunn has actually committed the foul. He is last man, he has to go. It's definitely a penalty. He'd be kicking himself, because first of all, he fell asleep when the ball was delivered over his head from Chris Riggett. We aren't complaining.
Not at all, because Borough don't get many penalties. Stuart Downing scored one against Arsenal earlier in the season at the same end. in front of the Manchester City fans as Phil Dowd blows his whistle. Downing left-footed, and Stuart Downing edges ahead in the leading scorer stakes for the season. 9 he's got now, left-footed, superb penalty. The advantage goes to the Borough, they lead 1-0.
Well, he was never going to miss. Stewie Downing, player of the season, absolute top quality footballer that he is, and he's in a competition with Tuncay because he wants to be top scorer. And funny enough, his corner kick last week gave Tuncay the chance to get level with him on 8 goals. Has he got 8 goals, Tuncay?
Yep.
I think so. 8 goals for the season. And in the commentary, or the interview after the game, Stewie was obviously delighted he'd scored, but said, it's about time Tuncay set me up. Well, he's sort of done that today.
Manchester City have got a free kick inside their own half. It's Derby 0, Reading 1 elsewhere. And that is James Harper. And that is a crucial goal because it takes Reading out of the relegation zone for the time being. James Harper scores for Reading. Derby 0, Reading 1, here Borough 1, Manchester City 0, Stuart Downing's penalty.
Well, now you've got your noses in front. They're down to 10 men. Influential player as well, Richard Dunn, Paul. They've got Michael Ball playing at centre-half with Shaw Luca now. Now, Michael Ball isn't the biggest. Richard Dunn, a big presence from the back. You're 1-0 in front. I'll be really disappointed, really disappointed, Paul, that we don't go on to win this game comfortably now.
Isaacson kicks out right-footed for Manchester City, on the lookout for a way back into this match. The 10 men, Richard Dunn sent off. Luke Young hits it forward towards Tuncay and chest down for Alves. Alves loses possession. City again coming forward. Petrov, left-hand side. Petrov gets it back and then a bit of a dodgy back pass. But Garrido's going to get it back to Isaacson, is he? Just. Tuncay closing him down. Clearance up to halfway line. Stephen Ireland heads out. Let's go downstairs. Mark.
Did you see in the celebrations Tuncay and Stuart Downing? And Tuncay was just laughing at him because he knows he's inched ahead again in the race. And Downing signalled across to Gareth Southgate, one more, because the Borough manager said in the programme today, I've set him the target of getting 2 today and making it 10 for the season, because that will be some achievement and it will cap off the fine season he's had. Sven-Göran Eriksson, by the way, well, the world's against him, isn't it? He just stood up when the red card went out, looked at the 4th official, Nigel Miller, just shook his head and sat down again. I think he's just about had enough.
18 minutes gone at the Riverside. Borough 1, Manchester City 0 in the Premier League. Derby 0, Reading 1 at Pride Park. Here's Stephen Ireland for Manchester City as they come forward towards the edge of the area. Pogatetz with a good tackle before Vassell can get to it. And West Ham 1, Aston Villa 1. Ashley Young has equalised for Villa. So Reading escaping as things stand. Birmingham, Fulham going down. Ireland cross, gets loads of flight on the cross. It's not going to go out. Martin Petrov shielding the ball from Luke Young, but good work from Luke Young. 300th career start for him today in club football. Manchester City attack. Cross from the left-hand side, but Garrido is headed out, and then George Boateng puts it further out for another City throw-in on this left-hand side. Michael Ball. Ball to Cho Luca, dropped back from the midfield to take the place of Richard Dunn in that Manchester City back 4. City on the attack though at the other end. Vassell's made a run into the penalty area. Luke Young, safety first, puts it out.
Well, they're having a bit of a go, Paul. They're obviously unhappy with the way that the goal's been conceded, Manchester City, and they're looking because they know that they need to get back into the game quickly, and that's what they're trying to do, get back into this match as quickly as possible. And we just got to weather this little bit of a storm with them having a bit of possession, and once we get the ball, Paul, we've got an extra player on the pitch, make sure that we're patient with our passing.
Vassell, Tuncay attempted to intercept. Gelson Fernandez though instead. Stephen Ireland, back to Fernandez, shot right-footed, edge of the area. Decent effort, good save from Mark Schwartz.
Actually, it's good football. That's a terrible throw from Schwartz.
That was a rash challenge from Emmanuel Pogatetz as well on Sun Ji Hai. And the Manchester City fans are calling for a red card, but it's not going to be. It's going to be a booking, and City have a throw-in, but all from a poor throw-out, putting Borough under pressure.
It was a good move from them before that as well. Stephen Ireland at the heart of it, finished with the shot from Fernandes, I think it was, edge of the box. Simple save really from Mark Schwarzer. And Schwarzer just rolled the ball out to Emmanuel Pogatetz when he didn't really need to, forcing Pogatetz into a challenge on Sun Ji-hai, I think it was, wasn't it? And well, now he's an opportunity. Martin Petrov, 22 yards out, right-hand side of the box with that trusty left foot of his. He's been a fantastic signing for them this season, Martin Petrov.
What's he thinking of there, Schwarzer? Free kick for Manchester City. Their best opportunity in the match so far. 21 minutes gone. It's Borough 1, City 0. Phil Dowd gets the Borough wall back. George Boateng runs to join it. Left-footed Petrov over the top and into the Borough fans behind the goal.
Always high and always wide of the target. Martin Petrov's effort there. Mark Schwarzer, to be fair to him, did apologise to Emmanuel Pogatetz after that little incident, and he's trying to get the game running quickly. His distribution recently has been very good from his hands, but on that occasion there, it was a casual kind of roll ball out to Emmanuel Pogatetz that really could have put us in bother.
Schwarzer's kick out from the ground, headed on by Tunjai towards Alves, but Alves' foot was a little bit high there, and so Manchester City have a free kick.
I think you'll see that an awful lot more in this game as well. You can just, from Mark Schwarzer or from any of our defenders, just hang the ball up in the area, Michael Ball, and allow Alves to challenge with him, or Tunjai, as he did on that occasion, and you feel like our strikers will win the ball in the air and get flick-ons.
Free kick then to be taken by Andreas Isaacson for Manchester City. Right-footed into the Borough half of the field towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed out by Wheater, back from Sun Ji-hai. Stephen Ireland to Sun Ji-hai again. Now Fernandes over the top and to the left-hand side. And Javier Garrido down this left to Petrov. Petrov to the edge of the box. Stephen Ireland missed his kick completely. Now that was a comedy moment.
That was...
he didn't mean that.
That wasn't very good, was it? It was a great move though, wasn't it? Again, starting down this left-hand side. I thought Martin Petrov, I thought he'd lost control of the ball, but such pace to recover. Lovely little ball into Stephen Ireland. He's slung his left foot at it. He nearly lost his left foot as well because he was that far away from the ball. Got a lot of flack of our fans. Won't have enjoyed that.
Fabio Rockenbach fouling Petrov. Free kick to City.
To be fair to them, Paul, they're still having a go, aren't they? Yeah. You know, they're 1-0 behind. They know that as this game settles again, that we're going to see an awful lot of the ball, or that's what you'd expect, and the chances are we might get in a second. So they know that they need to get back in this game quickly, and to be fair to them, they're having a go.
Petrov's having a go at the ref, which is incurring a bit of a lecture in return. BBC Tees, 95 FM and DAB digital radio, the only place for Borough commentary. Stephen Ireland, as City take this free kick. Ireland has it back. His options to his right are limited. Sun Ji-hai it is. Now it's to the other substitute, Castillo, the only substitute so far, rather. Came on for Benjani early on after he'd taken a kick from Fabio Rockenbach. Pogatetz, who was booked for that rash tackle earlier on. And then Tunjai gets a free kick on the halfway line to the Borough. Back down to pitch side and Mark.
Tunjai's a key man at the moment. They've been trying to get him further up the pitch to buzz around Alves. Alves is the man who sticks up there, and Tunjai, as is his way, drops steep, and they're just trying to get him to spin off Alves, because Alves won a couple in the air, as is Tunjai, and I think they fancy the chances of getting Tunjai in for a couple here. Good play from George Boateng there, infield to Rockenbach.
Boateng's having a superb game so far this afternoon, the right-hand side of the Borough midfield. That move just broke down a little bit, however, and who else but George Boateng across near the centre circle to attempt to win it back. It doesn't quite come off for him, but then he's gifted with a ball from Vassell. Alves inside his own half towards the right-hand side. 1-0 to the Borough. Alves again feeds Luke Young, who's just slightly ahead of him. Luke Young tries to eke it down the line, but it goes out off Garrido for a Borough throw-in.
Some good short passing there. Fabio Rockenbach pulling the strings. Just before that, you know, Paul, he's went for a killer ball. We've just said you've got an extra body on the pitch. You can be patient with your passing. Instead of banging the ball out to Emmanuel Pogatetz, totally unmarked, he's gone for the killer ball, which wasn't the right option. But after that, some good passing.
Pogatetz is on the attack left-hand side, but doesn't quite come off as everybody intended. Julio Arca's picked up the ball now, however. Arca's been quiet this afternoon, and he gives the ball away. And City on the break here, but have three men back to City's two forward, and Luke Young I was about to say excellent tackle, and Phil Dowd gives a free kick.
Well, and now he's a booking as well. I think a bit of dissent from Luke Young, obviously not happy with the fact that, first of all, the free kick was given, which I think was really, really harsh. Martin Petrov bearing down on Luke Young. Fearsome, really, he's so quick, Petrov, but Luke Young just stood his ground and went in with the challenge, and I think his feet did come up in the air after the initial challenge. Having said that, I've just seen a replay, and I think Mr. Petrov might have to check his nether regions to make sure they're all there.
Yeah.
Because that foot was a little bit high, but hey, still think the referee got it wrong.
Benefit of replays are fantastic, isn't it? It's what the referee doesn't have, in fairness to him.
No, in fairness to him. But do you know, I think what angered Luke Young and angered the crowd, and maybe caught us napping a little bit there, Paul, was the sort of delayed reaction from the referee, as if he was reacting to Petrov staying on the deck, not the initial incident, which he probably didn't see. I don't know, but he's still on the floor and he's just checking to see everything's all right. Asking the referee now as well, Martin Petrov.
I think he's getting a second opinion, because he's tried to count them, not had much luck. He's asking everybody else. There'll be a free kick to Manchester City, who trail by a goal to nil. Stuart Downing's penalty, 16 minutes. Richard Dunoff, professional foul on Tunjai. Martin Petrov's coming across to the left, where I think the physio's going to... well, I don't know what he's going to do. Anyway, we're going to take the free kick. Be interesting to watch. Here's a free kick into the box. Header down by Michael Ball. Vassell is there. Overhead kick and wide.
There's half a chance. The ball came into Michael Ball at the back post. He headed it back across the box for the substitute Castillo. Castillo just headed it back, popped it back into that area around about the penalty spot. Vassell got caught in two minds. He could have taken a chest and volleyed left foot. Instead, he went for an acrobatic finish and made a complete hash of it. But Man City still in the game, even though we're leading 1-0 and they're down to 10 men. And it'll stay that way, Paul, as long as we allow them to have the ball. It's just important when we get the ball that we're a little bit more patient with our passing and use the fact that we've got an extra body.
Alves to Arca, edge of the box, shot from Arca over the top. Not too many goals around this afternoon. Nervous final afternoon of Premier League football for the season. Birmingham 0, Blackburn 0, Chelsea 0, Bolton 0, Derby 0, Reading 1, James Harper, Everton 0, Newcastle 0, Portsmouth 0, Fulham 0, Sunderland 0, Arsenal 1. Theo Walcott has just given Arsenal the lead at the Stadium of Light. Spurs 0, Liverpool 0, West Ham 1, Aston Villa 1, and Wigan 0, Manchester United 0. All of which means, as we stand here 28 minutes into all the games roughly, United champions, and Derby, Birmingham and Fulham relegated. Reading's goal at Derby meaning they would stay up. Pogatetz. There'll be an awful lot of more twists and turns to come between now and 10-5, however, on this Sunday afternoon. Riggett back to Schwarzer. It's 1-0 to the Borough here, thanks to Stuart Downing's 16th minute penalty. Julio Arca picks the ball up deep inside his own half, comes towards halfway, and George Boateng helps it out to Luke Young, one of two Borough players booked so far. Luke Young's cross comes off the back of Garrido, and for Borough's third corner of the match. He
started the game really well again, hasn't he, George Boateng, playing down that right-hand side, playing quite narrow when he needs to, because obviously he hasn't got the pace to go around the back and the side of defenders, but lovely little player there just to release Luke Young, who loves to get forward himself, and Luke Young, the ball in would have been decent had it not been blocked by a defender.
So Stuart Downing is across. 9 goals for the season, top scorer to take this corner. Left-footed into the box, it's all over the place, and Tunjai, if he'd have got anything on it, would have gone in.
Hey, that's a great ball near stick. It's great movement as well, Paul. Did you see how big that hole appeared to be after the movement, after we managed to take defenders out of that near post area because of the movement of our players, Paul? Great ball in from... And you're right, just the slightest touch, and that would have been number 2.
BBC Tees, 95 FM, DAB, digital radio, the only place for Borough commentary. Stephen Ireland towards Petrov, who's in the centre circle. Flicks the ball with the outside of his left boot to Garrido, but he's offside. Down to Mark at pitch side.
And did you see a few minutes ago, it was Luke Young who was bombing forward and getting the crossing, which led to the corner, and that's something that Gareth Southgate has just been out saying, get those full-backs, Pogatetz and Young, get them further forward and get Manchester City on the back foot, because I've said it time and again in the past, who has the most possession of a ball in a football match? It's the full-backs, they're the key really a lot of the time, and Luke Young, when he gets forward, has good delivery. Poor old Martin Petrov, by the way, they administered the magic spray on him.
I wonder if it works. The ball is out for a goal kick before Tunjai can get to it. Petrov appears to have recovered from that blow, and it'll be a goal kick to Manchester City. It's the most ridiculous weather because it was sunny when we were driving in, and then it's misty. You can't see the hills, you can't see any of the industry. At 27,617 is the attendance here today. But it's misty and it's cold, isn't it?
Sea fret, it's making me fret. Freezing, isn't it? It's unbelievable. Like I said, I left my house this morning, well, not that long ago. Seems like a long time ago, it's that cold, but not that long ago, and it was glorious sunshine. I think the wind's changed direction, bit of sea fret coming in off there, and it has made things cold. But the football's been decent, hasn't it? So the fans have been enjoying that.
Manchester City make a hash of things down the right-hand side, and Borough have a throw-in. They lead 1-0 as well. Manuel Pogatetz is going to take the throw-in, just inching a few extra yards up that left-hand touchline before he throws it in towards Tunjai. Little flick from him, but Alves didn't read. Michael Ball has it for City. Halfway line with Martin Petrov, then Fernandes through the centre. He was looking for the run down the right-hand side, but it wasn't forthcoming from Vassell, and Fernandes was a little bit annoyed with him. Everton 1, Newcastle 0 at Goodison Park. Yakubu, 20th goal of the season for Yakubu. And Birmingham 1, Blackburn 0. David Murphy, the former Borough player, has scored for Birmingham. And Manchester United are 1-0 up at Wigan. Cristiano Ronaldo with the penalty. And that is his 41st goal of the season. Manchester United looking good for the title. Wigan 0, Manchester United 1, a glut of goals elsewhere. A Ronaldo penalty. 1-0 to the Borough here, with Tunjai on the ball through to Alves, just stumbled a little bit. And Manchester City tidy things up at the back and clear towards the halfway line, where George Boateng wins it back. Luke Young chips forward, Alves again, he's beaten in the air by Michael Ball, that shouldn't happen. Fernandes, little dummy from Julio Walker, wrong foots the Manchester City man. There's Riggett out to Luke Young again. Young forward to Tunjai, who is fouling Michael Ball.
Well, the linesman's flag didn't come up, Paul, and that's what Tunjai's saying. The linesman stood right in front of that, and it wasn't a free kick, it wasn't. Well, it is because it's been given, but it wasn't. And the referee's a long, long way away from it. He's decided to give the free kick, and the linesman's actually looking at it 10 yards away, can't see anything to give there. So I agree with Tunjai. Why the linesman hasn't put his flag up, because it wasn't a free kick and it shouldn't have been given.
Free kick is taken, nevertheless, right-footed onto the chest of Emmanuel Pogatetz. Fernandes gets in there. There's Ireland, ball through to the penalty area, and Mark Schwarzer goes to the left of his penalty area to collect it. Let's go back down to pitch side, Mark.
And Emmanuel Pogatetz is getting some stick. Colin Cooper says, what's he doing, trying to chest it down in the middle of the pitch? Tell him to start playing properly. There's a bit of a lull, isn't there, from a Borough point of view at the moment, and that's why Colin Cooper is now barking out the orders, and Fabio Rockenbach heading it straight out into touch. They're getting sloppy, aren't they, at the moment, Borough, and they need to just up it a little bit. And you mentioned Afonso Alves getting beaten in the air by Michael Ball. I mean, that's just symptomatic at the moment, isn't it? They need to raise the tempo again and really get about City, because they're going to fold, aren't they? Down to 10 men for so long in the game, they're not really bothered.
Isaacsson's clearance under the chest again of Emmanuel Pogatetz, but he manages to control it properly this time. Stuart Downing being harried by Sun Ji Hai down there, does brilliantly well to find Julio Walker. Back to Downing once again. Dummy from Tunjai puts Rockenbach in, edge of the box. Back to Tunjai again. Tunjai chances for a shot. There's some defending done back there by Vassell. I think it's a corner.
Build-up's brilliant. Stewie down the left, flips the ball inside for Fabio Rockenbach. A little dummy, I think, from Tunjai initially. That allowed Fabio to get on the ball, and some great little passing in and around that box. You have to say, though, it's a position where you could finish it with a shot.
Rockenbach's corner. Good take by the Manchester City keeper, Isaacson. Under a bit of pressure, managed to hold on to the ball. Now Castillo to Fernandez. Petrov, City attacking with purpose through Borough's centre at the moment. Right-hand side, Stephen Ireland. 1-0 to the Borough, the score, with 10 minutes to go to half-time. Fernandez. And Petrov. Petrov is harried out of it by a mixture of Boateng and Rockenbach. Tunjai turns full circle inside his own half, just dwells on it a little bit too long. It's definitely a poor spell this for the Borough at the moment. Castillo on the right-hand side. Infield again to Gelson Fernandez. Now Garrido left. Afonso Alves back, making a tackle of sorts. And then Luke Young puts it out for a Manchester City throw-in.
Yeah, he's just sweeping up behind. A good play from Alves to put their player under pressure. The ball popped out there to Luke Young, and he just, as he was sweeping up, his touch was a little bit too strong. He went out for a throw-in, and that was a shame because Afonso Alves was in an acre of space, and if he could have got hold of the ball, he'd have been attacking direct at the heart of their defence.
Fernandez gives it away in the midfield. Arca finds Rockenbach, and now Tunjai. Tunjai just holds up play, finds Rockenbach again, edge of the area, ghosting through. Alves! Afonso Alves with goal number 4 this season on the left foot from inside the area after good work from Tunjai, and also up there from Fabio Rockenbach. Excellent finish by Afonso Alves. That's what he's here for. Borough 2-0 up on Manchester City.
Well, you've just seen some of the best of Fabio Rockenbach, Paul. Ball played in it from Tunjai. The way he took the ball under pressure from two Man City players was a dream, was a delight. His awareness and his vision to pick out Alves, and the way to the pass to Alves so he can finish first time is absolute perfection. And the finish from Afonso Alves, a real goal scorer's finish again. That is a great goal.
It's turning out to be an excellent afternoon here for the Borough. They're 2-0 up. 37 minutes gone on the clock. Michael Ball clears for Manchester City. Superb finish from Afonso Alves.
What about the play from Fabio? You know, we laugh and joke, we say good things about him, Paul, and rightly so, because he deserves it sometimes. We give him a bit of stick sometimes because he does crazy things on a football pitch. That piece of play from Fabio Rockenbach is right out of the top drawer. It's a great finish from Alves, but the play leading up to it is just absolutely brilliant.
For a free kick with Chris Riggott to David Wheater. Now to the left, and Emmanuel Pogatetz. We were hoping we'd see goals this afternoon, well, we're seeing 2 already. Stuart Downing skinning Sun Ji Hyde on the left and crosses into the box. There's nobody there. Back heel from Julio Arca almost put in Tunjai. And Martin Petrov's deep back inside his own penalty area defending. He's been harried by George Boateng. Great play by George Boateng. It's a Manchester City throw-in, but he just doesn't give anything up at all.
No, he's played really well in this first half, George. Fans really enjoying that bit of play. The fans here have always loved somebody who's prepared to roll the sleeves up and get about a football pitch, and George, throughout his career here on Teesside's done that.
He is the prime example. Wheater to Riggott. Riggott to Luke Young on this right-hand side is just inside the City half. It goes back to Chris Riggott again, and now Wheater.
Now, you know what? I'm going to be greedy here. I don't know if it is greedy or not, but I'm going to ask for it. What a chance today to score 3 for the first time.
The elusive 3.
I mean, come on. You're 2-0 up against 10 men, and a demotivated 10 men. It's got to be said right now after the sending off of Richard Dunn. The manager's going to get the bullets. Come on, boys. Let's get 3 today.
Yeah. Tunjai. You'd never get a better chance, surely. Petrov. Cross to Sun Ji Hyde has been closed down by Stuart Downing. Rather cool to Cho Luca as Manchester City play their way out of trouble from the back, but it doesn't last long. Rockenbach's there. Rockenbach's been fouled by Fernandez. Free kick is taken quickly to Downing. His cross in is cut out by Cho Luca for a Borough throw-in.
Yeah, that free kick, Paul, it came about because we decided to press them right up the pitch. In fact, we were pressing, Stuart Downing was pressing Sunji high in their 18-yard box, and that was good, and they managed to play out. They did well to play out to around about the middle of their half, but eventually Fabio managed to get something on the ball. Fernandez gives them a free kick, and we played really quickly, and I think we should do that in the second half as well. Press a little bit higher up the pitch, put them under pressure, and really look to steamroll them out the game.
Chris Riggett's got a bit of a problem down there, Mark.
He has, I think it's his right foot. Do you remember a few minutes ago he got a free kick and there was a challenge from behind on him, and he got caught as he tried to play the ball, and I think he kicked the bottom of Neri Castillo's boot and basically got his studs on the top of his foot, and that, as anyone who's ever played football will tell you, will hurt, but it looks like he's going to be all right to continue. He's just about to return.
Just had a little word with the Borough physio Chris Mosley there, and Riggett's back onto the field now. In the meanwhile, Borough just played keep ball, and the ball went from one side to the other, being cheered every completed pass. That's some excellent stuff. Tunjai, right-hand side to George Boateng. Boateng for Fabio Rockenbach, instrumental in Alves' goal a couple of minutes ago, and almost played him in again there, the edge of the area. Might get another chance now. Luke Young on the right-hand side, gets his cross in. Keeper thought about coming for it, diving header over the top from Shaw Luca for another corner.
Yeah, they defended it well because the ball, after a lovely bit of play, lovely passage of passing football there from Middlesbrough. That's how you play against 10 men, Paul. You're patient, you pass it around, you get them moving about, somebody switches off. As far as the opposition's concerned, you get your chance to punish them, and that ball in from Luke Young was really good. Shaw Luca did well to get his head on the ball because Stewie Downing had done ever so well to get across the defender and was looking to dispatch.
Corner number 5 from Fabio Rockenbach, flicked on there by Tunjai. He kept in by Stuart Downing. Back heels it for George Boateng. He's got space and time to cross. That's the first foot George Boateng has put wrong all afternoon. What a rancid cross that was.
As soon as you said he's got space and time, I started getting nervous because George doesn't like space and time. He likes to get into people's faces and keep his passing instinctive and simple, and don't give him time and space, because that's what happens.
Borough 2, Manchester City 0. As the mist rolls in on the top of the East Stand here.
It's like the Hounds of the Baskervilles, isn't it?
Fog stop play we've got a danger of, maybe not really. It is pretty bad, however. Throw into Borough, left-hand side. Now to bring you into the picture about what's happening elsewhere, Manchester City currently champions. They're 1-0 up on Wigan thanks to Ronaldo's penalty. Still Chelsea 0, Bolton 0 at Stamford Bridge. Birmingham are leading Blackburn by a goal to 0. Reading leading Derby by a goal to 0. But as things stand, it's Reading who'll stay up, and it's not good enough for Birmingham. They'll go down along with Fulham.
That wasn't far off. That deep ball there from Fabio inside our half, looking to release Alves. It was, what, about a foot over hit. Brilliant ball.
Rita has some defending to do at the other end. Fabio Rockenbach stays down after he was caught, but Stuart Downing marauding and on the attack here, and Afonso Alves left-hand edge of the penalty area. Alves right-footed shot saved down to his right by Isaacson.
Well, Alves, he had options in front of him. Tunjai got in the box, Stewie had motored into the box, Julio Arca had motored into the box, and George Boateng arriving from that right-hand side towards the back post in the box. They may as well have forgotten it, because as soon as he picked up that ball, that's what a goal scorer he is. That's the kind of striker he is on that left-hand channel. He's coming in on his right foot and he's going to dispatch. Didn't get the power he was after, but as soon as he got it, you just see. I mean, I couldn't see his eyes light up because I'm too far away, but I can imagine he's going bang, he's a chance.
1.5 minutes of normal time left in the first half at the Riverside BBC Tees. Borough 2-0 up. We're on 95 FM and DAB digital radio. The ball is in the hands of Mark Schwarzer. Now Riggett back to Luke Young again on the right-hand side. Julio Walker's dropped deep to pick up Borough possession. Now leaves it for David Wheater, gets it back straight away. Julio Walker just patrolling the edge of that centre circle. Pogatetz is inside the City half. And Downing back for Julio Walker again. Borough playing City at their own game here, just playing it around inside their own half and very patient in the build-up as the time runs down at the end of the first half. Afonso Alves, scorer of the Borough second, to Luke Young. Now George Boateng onto Tunjai in the box. So if he could have controlled it, or either seen that, or Stuart Downing in acres of space, that would have been the end of a superb move.
Well, you know what Tunjai was wanting to do there, Paul? He was wanting to dummy the ball into the path of Stewie Downing because he knew he was in behind him. But the amount of pace on the ball down that right-hand side wasn't strong enough, so that's why he attempted to take a touch and got caught in two minds.
Stuart Downing then, left-hand side. Tunjai in the penalty area. Tunjai shot. Now there's George Boateng! Oh, it's gone wide! It's been saved by the keeper. Incredible save. George Boateng should have had Borough's third, but it was a marvellous save, and we'll have 2 minutes of added on time.
It's an unbelievable save, isn't it? Stewie Downing getting the ball from Julio Arca, picks out Tunjai through the eyes as well. Tunjai shot with his left foot, took a deflection, fell to George Boateng, totally unmarked. What was he, 5-6 yards out, took a touch, time to take a touch, hit it right-footed with pace. What a save.
Left hand of Isaacson. Rockenbach takes the corner, Riggett's header. Oh, scored last week against Portsmouth, narrowly wide there from the Rockenbach corner. Let's go down to pitch side, and here's Mark.
Where everyone is just applauding Andreas Isaacson. Rarely will you see a better save than that. That's best I've seen here all season. Absolutely fantastic save. Manchester City, you know, sometimes when you see Gary Megson, say, someone like that who's out there effing and jeffing at his players all the way through, and he's kicking every ball, and he's sweating, he's heading it. They might as well have the deck chairs out and the sun cream and the floppy hats on the Manchester City bench. We're getting sacked, we're not bothered, off you go, do what you like. This could be, if Borough wanted to be, this really could be a massacre now, because City have gone. You can just see it in their eyes.
I'll tell you what, it would be great, wouldn't it, to end the season and look forward to August and all the plans that Gareth Southgate wants to execute during the summer. If they could absolutely hammer Manchester City out of sight this afternoon.
I think it's really important. I think that's what Gareth was saying before the game, to finish the season on a high. We tried to do that against Bolton and Sunderland, and it was a shame that we didn't get anything from those matches. But, you know, we beat Portsmouth last week. It'd been really nice to keep a clean sheet again today and batter these, because it's there to be done, and finish the season on a high, get spirits high, looking forward to next season, and hopefully in August the weather's better.
Tunjai gets the better of Michael Ball down the right-hand side. Stephen Ireland getting back to defend, but still with Tunjai right-hand edge of the penalty area into George Boateng. Could have left it go, but he wasn't aware of that. And his touch takes it behind for a goal kick to City.
That was a good break, but the wrong option from Tunjai in the end. I actually don't think that ball was intended for George, and if it was a terrible pass, because there's no way he could have brought the ball down. I think the ball might have been intended further afield for maybe Stewie Downing or Alves. Stewie again arrived into the box totally unmarked, and he found himself in really good positions this afternoon, Stewie Downing.
Goal kick then taken right-footed, and Phil Dowd blows his whistle for the end of the first half. Highly satisfactory from a Borough point of view. Phil Dowd's whistle blows then. And we're underway in the second half with Chris Riggett in possession, and he goes back to Mark Schwarzer in the Borough goal. Schwarzer just comes out as he attempts to get the best distance possible on his clearance. Right-footed, it goes into that Manchester City half. Headed out from the back by Michael Ball. Vassell is milling around.